Blood hits the snow first. Not rain, not ash, blood. It steams as it spreads across the frozen plain of Vigrid, where the earth itself is split open like a wound. The sky is wrong. Red streaks tear through black clouds. The sun is gone. The moon is gone. Something has eaten them. Fire rolls across the horizon. Screams echo from every direction. And in the middle of it all stands Tyr. One arm ends at the elbow. The stump is wrapped in old leather, darkened by ancient blood. His shield is cracked. His sword trembles, not from fear, but exhaustion. Across from him, the chains snap. Garm steps forward, the hound of hell, born in darkness, fed on the dead, chained beneath the world since time began. Its fur is matted with rot. Its breath smells like graves. Each step leaves claw marks burned into the ice. This creature does not howl for glory. It growls for memory. Garm remembers promises, broken ones. Tyr raises his blade. This should be a heroic moment. A god standing against a monster at the end of time. But look closer. Tyr is not charging. He is bracing, because this fight isn't destiny. It's repayment. Here's the paradox. Tyr was the god of justice, of oaths sworn on steel and stone, of law before power. Yet the path that led him here was paved with betrayal. Not Loki's lies, not Odin's schemes, his own choice. Ragnarok is not a war between good and evil. It is a reckoning, and Tyr, more than any other god, understands exactly why he is about to die. Stay with this story, because Tyr didn't lose his hand to a monster. He gave it away, and the world has been bleeding ever since.
Unveil the legends.
Before the sky cracked open, before the seas swallowed the land, there was order. Not peace. Order. Order enforced by fear, by prophecy, by gods who ruled because no one could stop them. Odin sat on a throne of secrets. He called it wisdom. In truth, it was paranoia sharpened into policy. He sacrificed eyes, sons, even morality, anything to delay a fate he had already seen. Thor enforced that fear. A hammer. A thunderclap. Problems disappeared when they were smashed hard enough. Asgard survived on dominance. But Tyr didn't fit that pattern. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten. He listened. Tyr was the god people trusted to settle disputes, to decide what was fair, to hold warriors to their word. In a world of monsters and omens, Tyr believed something radical. That promises mattered. That even enemies deserved honesty. That law was stronger than violence. That belief made him valuable. And dangerous. Because the gods' greatest problem wasn't the giants. It wasn't the monsters. It was prophecy. They knew Ragnarok was coming. They knew the children of Loki would kill them. Fenrir would devour Odin. Jörmungandr would poison Thor. Hell would claim the dead. So the gods chose prevention. They bound the wolf. They cast the serpent into the sea. They locked hell away. And every single one of those acts violated the very laws Tyr stood for. Justice was already cracking. They just hadn't admitted it yet. Fenrir grew fast, too fast. Each day his shoulders widened, his teeth lengthened, his eyes sharpened with intelligence and suspicion. The gods brought chains, heavy iron, forged with spells, promised to be tests of strength. Fenrir shattered them all. Laughing, the final chain was different. Gleipnir, thin as ribbon, soft as silk, forged from impossible things, cat's footsteps, a woman's beard, the breath of fish. Fenrir smelled the lie instantly. He demanded insurance. "Put your hand in my mouth," he said, "so I know you speak truth." Silence fell over the gods. Odin wouldn't move. Thor clenched his hammer. Tyr stepped forward. This is the moment everything breaks. Tyr knew Gleipnir would hold. He knew Fenrir would realize it too late. But he believed the sacrifice would prevent catastrophe. Order over honesty. Security over truth. He placed his hand between the wolf's jaws. The chain tightened. The realization hit. Fenrir bit down. Bone cracked like ice underfoot. Blood poured across the stone. Tyr's scream echoed through Asgard. The gods turned away. Justice lost its hand that day. And somewhere far below the roots of the world, a hound listened and waited. Here's where the story fractures. Most versions of the myth treat Garm as a side monster, a beast, a checkpoint on the road to Ragnarok. But that's the cleaned-up version. Older sources blur the lines. Garm and Fenrir are not clearly separated. Sometimes they are described with overlapping traits. Sometimes their roles mirror each other too closely to ignore. Both are bound by the gods. Both are betrayed through deception. Both are fated to kill a god tied to law and leadership. And both are waiting for Ragnarok. Now ask the uncomfortable question. Why does Tyr, not Thor, not Odin, face Garm? Why does the god of justice fight the guardian of hell? Because Garm isn't random chaos. Garm is consequence. In Norse belief, hell is not just punishment. It is accounting, a place where actions are weighed, where debts are remembered. Garm stands at its gate not as a beast, but as a judge. And Tyr? Tyr doesn't face Garm because he is brave. He faces Garm because he is guilty. This is the dark theory rarely spoken aloud. Tyr didn't just lose his hand to Fenrir. He legitimized the lie. He stood as moral cover while the gods broke every rule they claimed to protect. He made injustice look lawful. He turned betrayal into policy. And once justice does that, once it cooperates with power instead of restraining it, it stops being justice. Garm represents that failure. Not evil, not malice, retribution. This is why Tyr doesn't flee, why he doesn't hesitate. He understands exactly why this fight is happening. Ragnarok doesn't punish gods for being cruel. It punishes them for pretending cruelty was necessary. The battlefield of Vigrid is unrecognizable now. Mountains have collapsed. The sea has flooded the land. Fire giants march through smoke. But this duel is quiet compared to the rest. No thunder. No prophecy shouted from the sky. Just steel and teeth. Garm lunges first. The impact is brutal. Tyr stumbles but holds his ground. One-handed, bleeding, fighting with precision born from years of loss. Each strike is calculated, not desperate, accepting. The hound tears into him. Tyr drives his blade deep. They collapse together, both mortally wounded. This is not a victory. This is mutual erasure. Justice and punishment destroy each other. That's the ending. No redemption arc. No last-minute reversal. Tyr doesn't rise again in the new world. That detail matters. After Ragnarok, some gods return. Some ideals survive. But Tyr does not. Because a justice system that compromises itself cannot be rebuilt. The irony is merciless. Tyr sacrificed his hand to preserve order. That act ensured order would rot from the inside. He chose stability over truth, and stability still collapsed. Ragnarok proves something terrifying. You cannot bind chaos with lies. You can only delay it, and when it breaks free, it takes everything with it. Tyr's death isn't loud. It's instructive. Tyr's fate leaves behind a warning older than the gods themselves. Justice that bends to power becomes indistinguishable from tyranny. That is why his story survives, not as hero worship, but as a caution. So here's the question that lingers after the blood freezes and the fire dies down. Was Tyr a martyr who sacrificed too much for order, or the final enforcer of a broken system who finally faced judgment? Drop your answer in the comments, because this wasn't the darkest choice made before Ragnarok. Not even close. The god who orchestrated all of this didn't lose a hand. He lost his children, his freedom, and eventually his sanity. And if Tyr paid the price for compromise, then what Loki paid was intentional.